Human behavior has always been a mystery. Why do people do what they do? Why do they react one way when we expected something else? How do we learn to understand, connect with, enroll, engage, align with people most effectively? Hi, I'm Christine Comerford, founder of Smart Tribes Institute, and welcome to our Smart Tribes Crack the Behavior Code podcast. In each episode, you'll learn practical, easy-to-use tools to better understand and change human behavior. These tools will help your team outperform, out-engage, outsell the competition. In other words, to become a smart tribe. Oh, and you'll find these tools super helpful in your personal life too. Let's go.
What stresses you out? We all have situations in which it's harder to maintain equilibrium than in others. Now, mine, is having to give the same direction repeatedly or having to get mired in administrative tasks that should be done by somebody else. What's yours? What pushes your buttons? We know we shouldn't get freaked out. We shouldn't get anxious. We know staying present is really important. It's going to help us find better solutions. We know we should be getting a good night's rest so we can tackle the situation with a fresh mind the next day. But we can't always get there without help. We've been hijacked. Our patterns are in charge. Hey, we're human. No one has time to process every single little blip in their life. We can't track down the source of every pattern. And you know what? Sometimes it's not even a pattern. It's just life. So how do we take care of our health? How do we stay mindful of what's important when life throws us a curveball? Well, whatever you like to call it, meditation, mindfulness, stopping our thoughts, you know about the well-documented benefits of meditation. Everyone's been talking about it, but are you doing it? And one of the biggest indicators of my coaching client success in stepping up their leadership is whether they have an existing mindfulness practice or whether they're willing to start one. This is kind of cool stuff. So Dr. Andrew Newberg, he's a neurotheologist and director of research at Philadelphia's Myrna Bird Center for Integrative Medicine. He studied the brains of spiritual leaders while they meditated or prayed. And in his video, which you can find on YouTube, he concludes, the more you do a practice like meditation or prayer, the more your brain physically gets thicker and functionally works better. So mindfulness meditation has long been touted as an effective way to improve our health and our well-being. And studies are super subjective and difficult to validate in the past. But new studies are reporting that mindfulness meditation helps us relieve our levels of perceived anxiety and depression. It improves attention, concentration, contributes to better sleep. Researchers from Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland, sifted through nearly 19,000 studies on meditation. Whoa. And they found 47 trials that addressed the key mentioned issues that I mentioned just a moment ago and met their criteria to kind of scientifically validate that research. So their findings were published in JAMA Internal Medicine. And they suggest that mindfulness meditation can help ease psychological stresses like anxiety, depression, reduce pain, and improve sleep patterns. Separately, a study conducted by Harvard at Mass Gen determined that meditation literally rebuilds the brain's gray matter. How cool is this? The study only lasted 8 weeks. 8 weeks, 2 months. In that time, they found benefit equal to prescription drugs without the side effects. Think of it this way. The mind is a lousy master and an excellent servant. Let's first look at one of the biggest causes of stress is. I know you've done this. I've certainly done this too. And it's called ruminating or obsessive thinking or repeating a certain stressful thought over and over and over again. And the brain sets down kind of on this old thinking pattern path, and it just is like a little hamster wheel. Now, mindfulness practices teach our brain to pop up out of that pattern, recognize it for what it is, a default and well-worn groove that we have a choice to step out of or not. Then we can focus on whatever the object of our meditation is, our breath, thought, flower, candle, mantra. And I believe we have repetitive thoughts because most of us haven't trained our minds to be still. Your mind and your thoughts can be directed. And the good news is you're going to see results pretty fast. I have to tell you, when I first started meditating, I did it for 5 minutes a day. Then after a while, I added another minute. Okay, woo, 6 minutes a day. Then I just started adding. So there are tons of teachers of meditation, podcasts, books, etc. So let me just go over kind of a super easy technique, and then I'll go over more in other podcasts. So if you've never meditated before, a simple way is just to breathe in for the count of 7, fairly slowly, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold for a count of 7, and then exhale for a count of 7. So here's the thing. When you're counting, you can go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, etc. If your mind starts to wander, just bring it back. Just bring it back to focus on your breath. You can set a timer for 5 minutes before you start. That's great. Then you can be fully present. For a little extra benefit, you might want to breathe in through your nose, then hold, then breathe out through your mouth. This will give you a parasympathetic, rest and digest, that's the nose breathing. Sympathetic, fight, flight, freeze, that's the mouth breathing, reset. Check it out. Check out the difference. It's pretty cool. If you want, you can close your eyes, you can light a candle, you can put something in front of you to focus on. When you're starting out, you're just exploring, so find out what works for you. If you're having a stressful day at the office, just stop and take that breathing technique. You can even do it during a meeting. No one can tell. So that's why meditation is referred to as practice, as in, I'm practicing meditation, or I have a meditation practice. You're teaching your brain to interrupt repetitive patterns to calm and center itself. It takes practice to get to that automation. But I tell you, it is so cool to be able to just sit down, get still, and stop your thoughts. It is so rejuvenating. And I find that when I stop my thoughts, my problems get solved. I see the way, I see the solution when I'm done meditating. And also, I don't take it as seriously. It's not the end of the world. It's already tomorrow in Australia. So if you want to learn more, go to beyondyourbrain.com and you'll learn more about our upcoming retreat. Thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for joining me on this episode. Every listen, every share, every review helps others form their own smart tribes where teams are engaged, happy, and optimally performing. Together, you and I can help millions of people crack the behavior code in their organizations, families, and communities. I invite you to take 2 minutes and head over to smarttribesinstitute.com to discover more about how to form a smart tribe. See you there, and please tell your friends.